Hello Internet, Seth Skorkowski, and today we'll be discussing the classic AD&D adventure, All That Glitters. Written by Jim Bombra, the module was published in 1984 by TSR UK. I've experienced this module twice, first as a player and then a few years later as a dungeon master. The adventure offers several unique settings and obstacles, as well as wonderful role-playing opportunities, which is the reason that I love it so much. DM should expect it to take 2 sessions, possibly 3, and it does require at least 1 cleric or druid in order to complete it. However, one word of warning. While the front cover says that it's suitable for players 3 through 5th level, the back cover says it's levels 5 through 7. Inside, where it lists the pre-generated characters, it repeats this and also adds that players should be of a total 35 to 40 levels.
That would explain why this adventure was way harder than we were expecting it to be. It's probably some sort of mix-up when they were converting it from the European metric to the American system of gaming.
That doesn't even make sense. There's not even a European metric system for D&D levels.
Obviously there is, because you sent us through a much harder adventure than you thought you did. We barely survived this. Those of us that did survive it, that is.
You came out ahead because there was less PCs for you to split the loot with. Now, for any players in the audience, from here on forward, I'm going to be spilling all the spoilers. So if you want to play this great scenario, I suggest that you stop here and send your Dungeon Master this way. But if you keep going, you're going to ruin the surprise. Okay, Dungeon Masters, let's dive in. The adventure begins when the PCs discover portions of a treasure map used as the packing material from a jungle village. The module doesn't specify exactly how the PCs discover these pieces, so what I did is that I had a half-orc that worked at the dock discover the pieces, and then he sold the pieces to a character for like 10 gold. While the map is provided as a handout for the players, I suggest that Dungeon Masters actually cut out the pieces individually, maybe crumple them up and make the players have to piece them together by hand. Also, to help the story and add to the mystery, put the name Mage Teakle on the back of one of the pieces. That way, the players can begin to learn some of the map's history. Feel free to throw in any other hints as well, the names of the people that were on the failed expedition, as well as promises of the riches that Teakle believed that map led to. Enticed by the promise of treasure, the PCs should head out for Port Elizabeth.
Also, I want to make my money back. I spent 10 freaking gold on these stupid scraps of paper.
If you give them Mage Teakle's name on the map, once the PCs reach Port Elizabeth, they can learn a little bit more about them. They can find out how this wizard and this huge expedition came through about a year and a half before, but then never returned from the jungle. The PCs can get a little bit more information once they go to the trading post at Ket's Rapids. From there, the PCs will take the map deep into the INDICARA jungle and into the territory of the dreaded Atom tribe. There's many encounters that they can face here as they brave this dangerous land.
And mosquitoes. Lots and lots of mosquitoes. On a related note, Dungeon Masters, I suggest that you make your players make a +3 poison save when they're going through the jungle. Maybe like a regular poison save if they're stupid enough to drink the water and they contract malaria or something like that. And then they've got minuses on some of their rolls until they can get themselves cured.
Eventually, the PCs will have to cross the Atom village, and any mistakes here can bring down the wrath of 100 Atom warriors. This is also where the PCs will find the first traces and remains of the previous expedition teams, as well as score some nice treasure that they had on them. After that, they'll cross a bog, fight a Hydra, roleplay with an insane fire giant, and find the entrance to the tunnels. This entire portion will likely take an entire game session. The next portion, the Windwalker's Passage, is my favorite part of the module. The tunnels are an elaborate and powerful transit system between 2 cities that were destroyed in a cataclysm long ago. This portion is exceptionally creative and worth the entire module alone. The PCs will have to navigate several maintenance portions before they can reach the portal that transforms them into smoke that's then whisked hundreds of miles beneath the mountains to come out on the other side. Somewhere in this network there's a gate that's allowing devils to come through and enter this world. The PCs will need to fight their way through these devils and hopefully destroy the blood-scribed ring in order to stop any more from coming through. Otherwise, they're going to have to fight them all over again before they can go back home. One complaint that I have is that there is no explanation as to why this gate is here or who scribed it. So I suggest that in one room where the PCs discover the remains of a century-dead wizard, have a note on his person or add to the magic mouth spell that's around his body how this gate was transcribed by people who attacked this land, and that's the whole reason there was a cataclysm to begin with, is because of these devils. That'll at least kind of answer the question as to why in the hell is this gate here to begin with? The Windwalkers portion of the module will probably take an entire session just by itself. Once they reach the other side, they'll emerge in MIRE, a vast and desolate desert of ash left over from the Great Cataclysm.
You're also going to have to keep track of your players' water consumption while they're here, but make sure they understand how bad this ash really is. It's blinding, it's choking, it gets in your clothes, makes your armor uncomfortable, it's scratchy, and it gets everywhere, and I mean everywhere. But hey, there's no mosquitoes here, so there's at least that.
The PCs will soon encounter the Heck, the desert people who live here. This leads to some wonderful role-playing opportunities, especially since the Heck only speak in archaic common and the language barrier can be a little bit fun to overcome. The PCs will learn a little bit about the previous expedition that came through here a year before, but then ultimately they're going to be betrayed by the Heck, who are going to try to seize their water and any clerics or druids that know how to create water. Eventually, the PCs will cross the barren desert and reach the lost temple of Umada Peron, which is in a sad state of decay. There they will encounter several undead, including a skeleton warrior, an insane priest who will try to kill them. The PCs are going to find a lot of treasure, but most importantly, they're going to find the magic incense that allows them to get back home. And the greatest treasure of Ashmire is a decanter of endless water. Hopefully they'll solve the puzzle in order to activate the decanter. As they leave, they'll be set upon by 360 Heck warriors, enraged that their priest and the only access to water is dead. These warriors will fight to the death, and there's very little chance the PCs will be able to survive a combat against them. The PCs will have to roleplay their way out of this. If they played the game correctly and they've unlocked the command words for the decanter of endless water, they can offer that as a suitable trade for their lives.
What, this? Oh, yeah, we were just holding on to it for you. By the way, we don't actually know how to turn this thing off, but that's not really our problem. So, here you go. Can we go now?
Overall, I found that All That Glitters to be a fun adventure with lots of combat, vivid settings, and wonderful opportunity for role-playing. DMs just need to add a little bit to the history to allow the characters to learn something about the expedition that came through here a year before, as well as offer some sort of explanation as to why the devils are occupying the tunnels. The only other problem is that this module has been out of print for years, so Dungeon Masters will need to either score a copy off of eBay or the like if they want a physical version, but thankfully there are PDF versions that you can download off of DriveThruRPG. So a huge thanks to Wizards of the Coast for bringing back this classic scenario for a new generation of players to enjoy.
Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and you know the drill by now. If you have any questions, just let us know in the comments below. Until next time, gamers, you have a great day.